Oh, hi everyone, Marcella from Camera Heritage Farm. Sorry, I'm not really set up properly for this. I'm a flower farmer in Hamilton, Ontario, growing zone 5B6, and I just wanted to do an unboxing. I've had a lot of fun buying a lot of seeds, and it's amazing how much time and planning it takes doing these seeds and ordering them, figuring out what my new flowers are going to look like and what the demand is going to be, what the new trends are going to be. So there's a lot to be considered, and it's actually quite exhausting trying to plan everything out and getting all the right seeds. And sometimes, well, you just indulge and get some extra seeds just to try them out, even though you don't have much high hopes that they're going to come into anything that is going to be usable. But it's a lot of trial and practice, and that's the only way that you're going to learn and figure out which flowers actually work for you. Anyway, here we go with my unpacking, my official first unpacking. Johnnys, sorry the box is upside down. And I buy most of my seeds from Johnnys. I'm going to start buying some from Ball. And I get my sunflowers from Sunflower Selections. Sorry, my table's going to move. Hope you can see that. Last year I didn't grow really any sunflowers. They came up from the year before because I just didn't plan for the spacing. I didn't have enough room. And this year, of course, I'm going to be in my 10 acres. So I planned several rows of sunflowers, and they're going to strictly be trial and error. I want to see what grows well. I'm not a big sunflower user, although I know that the specialty ones that I have ordered are really worthwhile, and I think that people will absolutely love them. It's a big, long list of seeds, at least from Johnnys. And I think for the most part, I'm going to be planting every single seed, and hopefully there'll be nothing left over, because to me that's always a success. So, oh, here I have some mini daffodils that I forced just to bring some life into this transitional period between losing our snow, whoops, the birds singing, and all the flowers trying to peep up and make their presence known and make us all happy and cheerful. So as I said, this is going to be a long one. Celosia, one of my favorites. Sorry, you don't have pictures with this. Burgundy, cream burgundy. How I choose all of my crops, my flower crops, are strictly what are they going to add to my bouquets. So I have definitely my style. My style is very romantic. It's very old-fashioned. It's very feminine. And I stick to the style that I know I do best. So romantic, old-fashioned, different, unusual, that's what I choose, and that's what I do best in. So I like to stick to what I do best. Celosia is a beautiful filler. I am going to be starting my own seed propagation and developing my own seed lines. So I hope that you'll join the journey and see how I make out with these. I have ordered hoverbees, I've ordered bumblebees, and there's a specific wasp that I've ordered as well. And they are going to be my pollinators. So I'll be isolating the rows, I'll be selecting the specific plants that I want to promote and get the results out of. So it's today, this year starts the journey. Started collected seeds last year. It was really promising. Delphiniums did well. Actually zinnia, and I really didn't expect that to do well, but I'm pretty happy with those results. Dahlias, I tried, and that looks really promising as well. So it's really definitely a new beginning. I was at the farmers I don't know, farmers market, farmers equipment thing in London, Ontario yesterday all day, and it's absolutely fascinating the type of different types of equipment that you can buy to help me in my process. And because I am kind of a one woman show, I have to become so efficient, and that's a great challenge for me. So zinnias. All right, so I buy from Johnnys, is from the US. For the most part, yeah, you're paying, taxes, you're paying import and duty taxes, you're paying shipping, but to me, their quality of seed is so high. It's very reliable. More than happy to pay all of that. I did recently get an order from Floret Seeds, and that was really expensive. They charged me, I think my order US was $144, and I bought quite a few seeds, which I'm really happy to have, but my duties were $60, and things were mislabeled. So $60 on $144 US to me was pretty pricey, whereas I don't know, $700 or $800 order from Johnnys might only cost me $60 or $57. So I don't have time to battle the customs over that and to question why they did it. I think it's a waste of time. I'll bite the bullet and start to propagate my own seeds. That's what this is all about. All right, so zinnia. I have a Queenie formula mix. It's a very romantic, it's a very different looking zinnia. It has all these soft hues. It has usually darker centers or lighter centers. So there's a bit of a contrast between them. They're a bit smaller than Bennery's Giant, which is really kind of the industry standard. It's preferred because it's so large and so reliable. But I can't live without the Queenie mix, and this one is the Queenie formula mix. So there's quite a few different colors, and even though I bought quite a few of the Queenie formula mix, this might have some colors that I didn't have in my larger packages. I typically buy like minimum order of 250 seeds to 1,000 seeds. That's my typical order, but next year or this fall, I'm hoping to, oh, this is Pepper. These are my little companions. This is my Pepper. He's a proud daddy of all my little babies, him and Coco. So they're the love of my life. Anyway, he's gonna keep us company, I guess. Feverfew. So I propagate my own feverfew, and they are a double. So they're beautiful little pom-pom flowers. They're, to me, have a much richer look than the single open-faced feverfew. So I like to focus on this type of a look, and it's very full, very romantic again, very opulent. That's the word for my bouquets, is opulence. And this one is a sunny ball. So it's actually a slightly yellow, it's got a little yellow flower to it, and it's a full flower. And the reason I chose that is I find that when the feverfew blooms, the first feverfew, I need some more color in my bouquets, and that pop of sunshine yellow really does make a difference and really does liven up the bouquets. Zinnia again, Carmine Rose at Bennery's Giant. It was really, really popular last year. It also makes a nice dried flower. So I have 1,000 of those. And again, I'm so excited to start developing my own seeds. it'll probably take about 4 years before I'm really happy with my Orpington chickens, the English show quality chickens that I brought in from the States. It took about 6 years, even though I started with the best of genetics. Learning the genetics was really exciting, and then you get to develop your own body type, feathering, attributes that are positive that you're looking for. You can play God. Don't take any insult to that, but you're able to pick out the things that you like about a flower or a chicken, and keep that and keep breeding that attribute until you get exactly, you've designed your own flower, you've designed your own chicken, and it's really beautifully scientifically based. So to understand genetics, and then to understand beauty, and then an industry standard. It's a really exciting project to be involved in. I've done the chicken Orpingtons, which is an English breed, a very large chicken, for 14 years. So now it's time to turn all that knowledge and that experience into flowers. Okay, the next one is common sage. So last year around Mother's Day, of course, I did huge French bouquets, French tulip bouquets, and there's not really an awful lot growing at that time. Lots of blowing things, but not growing as a filler. And I found that the sage brought a beautiful texture. It was silvery gray. It had some blue tones to it, and it was a gorgeous addition and really brought out some of the colors in the tulips. So that to me was something that I'm going to start growing on a larger mass. So I have, let's see, it says I bought a ½ ounce. So it looks like I've got about 1,000 seeds in this packet. Some of the packets I buy from weight, and then some of them I buy the number of seeds. So the more prolific the plant, I tend to buy it by weight. You get a lot more seeds. And then, of course, the more delicate and the rarer the seed goes per seed. Next one is apricot stock, iron apricot. I grew it terribly last year. I don't think I harvested one flower. I like to incorporate them, but I suck at growing them. So I'm going to give it another shot. I think it has to be a flower that I need to include because it has such an incredible, spicy, sweet, peppery scent that I think it's necessary, because when I watch people at the market, right now I'm at the Centro Farmers Market. I go there every Sunday between 9 and noon. That's in Burlington on Brant Street. And also I'm now selling in the Pearl Cafe in Burlington. Everybody picks up my bouquets of flowers and they expect there's going to be a scent. And a lot of the flowers that you buy commercially and a lot of the annuals that I put in my bouquets, they don't have a scent. So I think it's really important to give that extra level of enjoyment to the flowers, and smell is definitely a way to do it. So I'm starting to grow flowers or incorporate flowers that a woman can actually, or a man can, put against their nose. Sorry about the noise. Start. Those are my kids. My little kids. I'll show you who my little kids are. I think it's important to be able to put some scent into the bouquets as long as they're not offensive. So Pepper, whom you just met, and Coco created 3 of these beautiful little children, and I'm keeping them all. So I'll have 5 dogs. So much love. And let's see, who have I got? This is Tiffany. It's Tiffany. Say hi, Tiff. Tiffy. Is that little cutie? Yeah. So that's Tiffany. I have Lily Bell. So Tiffany the third, actually. So she's my third Yorkie called Tiffany. And I have Winston the second. Hang on. He's a real boy. He gets into scraps with his mom and his siblings. This is Winston. So that's Winston. He's actually the longest one with the longest tail. Hi, baby. How cute. Is that not the cutest thing in the world? And sorry. This is Tiffany. This is Winston. God, they look a lot. There's Winston. He looks very different. Here's my Winston. And that's Lily Bell. So the first one I introduced you was Lily Bell. Oh, stop moving. There you go. Good girl. All right. So that's my kids. Okay. So, Cocoa Gold, Marigold. I was never a fan of marigolds, except for in my vegetable garden. And I use marigolds to keep away the insects, and it does actually a marvelous job. So if you're worried about insects, earwigs, all kinds of nasty things in your vegetable garden, I highly recommend that you plant marigolds. They're super easy to propagate and to germinate. This one, the germination rate is 95. Usually it's actually higher, so I'm surprised it's this low. These seeds are a little pricey, I'll admit. For 100 seeds, I usually get more, but I'm going to be saving my own seeds, so hopefully I can get it down to just buying a few seeds every year, just to keep me going. But I spend about $3,000 to $4,000 just on seeds alone. So every year I invest about $10,000 on either bare root or seeds. So it's a lot of investment. I want to become very self-sufficient. So that's the honey gold. Serena from Red Roof Farm, or You Can't Eat the Grass, same thing. She's the one that introduced me to those. And next year I will be ordering from Ball. I'll be ordering much larger quantities if I haven't been able to collect enough seeds. Never want, oh, eucalyptus. I have a love-hate relationship with eucalyptus, but again, I'm trying to introduce I think they forgot to put the seeds. I don't feel anything. Okay, let's open this one up. That would be unusual. Okay, usually they put them in a little packet. No, I don't know if you can see them. Oh, there they go. Good Lord. Not a lot in there. It's just a packet. No, I didn't drop any. This one is Silver Plate. Actually, it's one I like very much. It has large leaves. I already have the lemon eucalyptus and the baby blue eucalyptus growing. I'm going to say I had about 50% germination. That's one of the ones that Daisy decided to chew on, but they actually did remarkably well. This is supposed to have a 92% germination, and I'm saying I get about 50 to 60% germination. Sorry about the noise. Right, again, a Queenie series, Queen Red Line. It's again, it adds so much to a bouquet. It doesn't have a scent. It's smaller than the Bennery's Giant, which typically ends up being 3 to 4 inches wide. Hang on, guys. That's a lot of noise. That's Pepper wanting. Hang on. Stop. Come on, everybody out. Thank you. Good Lord. Okay. Oh, Oklahoma is also a zinnia. The pink, it's absolutely gorgeous. I tend to put these a lot in the, I make little children's bouquets or bouquets that are just, you know, $10 or $12. And it's just a beautiful little handful of short flowers. I call them my mini French petite or my French petite. And a lot of people want to just pick up something quick and cheerful and romantic and put it by their bedside or put it in their bathroom. And so the petite French bouquets really lend themselves well to these smaller Oklahoma pink. I don't know how this focuses. I gotta get used to this. This is my first seed unpacking, so bear with me. So they're a lot smaller, and they're not a focal flower at all. They're smaller, they're romantic, they're very sweet. So they lend themselves really well to the smaller bouquets. Again, oh, giant yellow. Well, I had them last year. And although they don't make a great cut flower, only because the flower heads are so gorgeous and they're so big. Well, more because they're big. And the stems are a little weak, and so they break off often. But they were so effective in keeping out the insects from my vegetable garden that I'm going to continue planting them for that reason, simply as an insecticide. It's a great way to do it. Cinderella peach. That's another specialty zinnia. I'm going to move a little closer if I can. Okay, that's another specialty zinnia. It's sweet. It's probably can grow 2.5 to 3 inches wide, and it is a very full in the center and very whimsical, hence the name. And it just adds another element, another element of romance. I'm gonna try to move this over a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now, oh, status. Status again was something I grew terrible last year. Everybody seems to have such success. I did an awful job, so I'm going to give it another crack. And I really want to start growing, start keeping dried flowers, because I think they're beautiful and romantic and fun to work with in the wintertime when you don't have fresh flowers. So I'm going to give status a crack again. Basil is a filler. It's also something for the aromatic feature. It's a very beautiful purple with bright green. It's not coming to maturity until close to the late summer, mid to late summer. So you can't rely on, oh, I've got quite a few of those. I've got an ounce of those. So it's about 4,000 seeds. And hopefully I can collect seeds for next year. I'm just gonna plant a great big long row of them, and it'll provide me with lots of beautiful aromatics for my bouquets. And I didn't grow that well last year either. So I know that it's easy to grow, so I just need to pay a little bit more attention to them. Anihesop, that's a perennial, and it has nice aromatics. It's a great filler, and it's something that I believe that I want to grow a lot of, because I want to transition more towards the perennials. So it's more sustainable, less labor, and is great for pollinators. So look forward to that, putting that for the first time in my bouquets. Also, I have a farm stand at the end of the road, so roadside stand. You'll be able to actually sign up for a CSA, a flower CSA, which is typically you buy 5 bunches up front, and as you need your flowers, you simply message me or send me an email, and your bouquet will be ready for you to pick up whenever you need it. So it's a great convenient way. So red spike amaranth. Amaranth I grew incredibly well last year. And again, I want to start to create my own seed line. So it's going to be exciting to see what other amaranth I'm going to, cross-pollinate it with. So keep tuned for that. It's a harder one to, to work into the arrangements, but I'm sure I'll find a way. This is really great for much larger, much more elaborate arrangements. So, and it really adds an element of interest, something that you can't buy at a grocery store, shall I say, or even a florist. And a lot of the things that I grow, they're all seasonal, but they're not available commercially. And if they are available commercially, they typically are much smaller. We grow beautiful flowers, local flowers in Canada. So I highly recommend that you support any local farmer, flower farmer, because you're getting a much higher quality, much fresher flower. And it's good to support local. Okay, Costa. It's one that I didn't grow well last year either, mostly because I didn't grow these flowers well because I had so much severe flooding in my flower field last year. Last year was an unusual amount of rain, and my culvert got plugged up, so nothing drained, and all of the water from my farmer's field comes draining down into past my flower field, and so everything got flooded out. It was pretty horrendous. I loved the water. It was really interesting to see the stream coming down where I normally don't have water, but set me back about 2 months. Okay, this is basil again. This is the black basil. Also has a beautiful scent. So we'll see how that does this year. Should also add a beautiful dark purple plum color to my bouquets. Go nice with the zinnias, of course. Benary's Giant Wine. Again, it's along those jewel tones. So bright purple, like a deep, more like a Burmese ruby. That describes the color perfectly. Burmese ruby. It's hard to say. Okay, delphinium. So you may have seen one of my other, or two of my other posts when I had collected seeds from the most beautiful delphiniums that I grew last year. Put bags over them so I wouldn't lose the seed, harvested them, put them in the fridge or the freezer, and started to grow them, and I had great germination. And then Daisy, my pet Serrana chicken, who I bring in during the winter time, I decided to nibble on them along with my eucalyptus. And I thought, oh, there's a whole year's worth of work down the tube. But I discovered I had 2 more trays that were untouched. So I'm pretty delighted about that. So we'll start over again, and I should be able to get, quite a few plants out of that. Keep them alive, hopefully. I will put them in my first flower field where I can keep an eye on them And we'll see where that goes. I got great promise with that one. Magic Fountain Mix is also delphinium. It's where I got these beautiful seeds from originally. There was a deep sapphire blue. There was a Siberian amethyst. There was a sky blue, like an aquamarine color blue. So I'm really excited to be able to isolate those crops and start to develop them. That's the most exciting part. And being able to include these beautiful crops into my, these beautiful flowers into my bouquets, because like I said, you can't buy these things. And most of the flowers, I'm going to say 90% of the flowers that you're going to find in the grocery stores or in the florists, they all come from Ecuador and they're not grown here. So the varieties that I'm growing and that local growers are able to offer are very different. And that's why people are so excited to be able to buy them. They're also fresher, of course, as I mentioned. Snapdragons, this is the light bronze. It added such a beautiful element to the bouquets that I needed to do that one again. And I didn't mention foxglove. I didn't have to buy any foxglove seeds because it's such a prolific reseeder that it's not necessary to buy seeds. They just self-seed themselves. And it's just a romantic, old-fashioned, gorgeous, spectacular, voluptuous flower. It's a biannual. Some of them bloom the first year and some bloom on the second year. But you'll always have foxglove if you don't weed them out. You let them grow, the babies. Celosia again, love celosia. It's one of the flowers or fillers that I want to develop my own, design my own. This one is called Pampas Plum. So it's a nice fluffy celosia. It grows probably 16 inches, and you have to pick through them carefully because it's there's a lot of things to clean on the bottom parts of the stems, all the leaves, etc., and you only want to leave the good fluffy stuff. Borage is another perennial. Borage is a great filler, both for its color and for its flowers. It does send out flowers in the fall time, so it's a great filler. And nasturtium. This is not bought for cut flowers. I use nasturtium as a ground cover underneath my dahlias. And I got to tell you, that whole row has had zero weeds. So I don't have to weed it. It's beautiful to look at. It adds nitrogen. It's a soil fixer. This is going to be a stable as a ground cover underneath and in between all of my crops, and I've got 1 pound of that. So I've got about 4,000 of those seeds. These you have to soak, and soak them in a really good seed mixture, seed soil mixture, and put them in the ground after they've soaked for about a day, and germination rate is pretty good. Anyway, that's all I have. Oh, no. Got more. I'll just turn this a little bit. So I've got, again, Queen Lime. I've got orange, Queenie Lime series. I've got orange. So excited. I didn't grow that last year. More delphinium. This is a lavender. I also got some from Unicorn Blooms. They were really expensive. They were about $1 a seed, but I'm excited to see the germination of that. They've been stratified already. So stratification is giving them a cold treatment put them in the fridge or the freezer for about a month because it mimics the winter conditions in which they need to become viable seeds. So that's the lavender. I haven't had that one before. Blue Plerum. I didn't grow Blue Plerum I love blue plerum. A lot of flower farmers use it. And so I'm excited to see how well I do with that one. And more delphinium again. This is the blue skies. So delphinium is a kind of a short-lived perennial. But again, it's a great seed producer. I will isolate my crops with insect netting and hopefully keep growing more and more and more. Last one again is Status. You'll notice that I only ordered 2 Status because I did such a terrible job last year. And this one is Seeker Blue. The colors that I really do love are the blues and the lavender tones, the soft peaches, the pinks. The tones that I tend to go more towards are the pinks and the reds. Less orange, but I think the orange that I chose this year in the zinnias will lend themselves. They have the right kind of undertones that I think they'll lend themselves really, really beautifully with the other selections, the other seeds that I selected. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching and happy growing.